So okay, now we are going to take a look at this little Vue GraphQL client, okay, and it's similar to the React.js we had before. Remember that we have a GraphQL, okay, API, and yeah, so this one is similar to the React.js we made, but now I want to show you how everything is structured in a Vue application. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, okay, let's go to installation, is to run npm install -- save Vue Apollo, GraphQL, and Apollo Post. Okay, let's go to package.json, and you can see what I have here. We don't need validate, okay? I just copied an application and changed it, and I had this, but we are not going to use it, so forget about this. Okay, so let's see how everything is structured. Let's take a look at the documentation again, and we need to add this Apollo client, okay, and a provider, an Apollo provider. Okay, so let's take a look at the code. Is on the main.js. Okay, first of all, we need to create an Apollo provider, okay, that is going to get it's going to make a new instance of a Vue Apollo. Okay, you can see we have it imported here, one from Apollo Boost and the other one from Vue Apollo. Okay, we have the router, and yes, okay, so we create this Apollo provider that is a new instance, okay, of the Vue Apollo object. We need to define this default client, okay, to be or a GraphQL endpoint. Okay, it's going to be a new Apollo client instance with the URI of or GraphQL server, okay, or API. I will just say Vue that use this new use Vue Apollo to connect. Okay, and we add inside our Vue configuration, okay, or Vue object, we add this Apollo provider so we can use it on the other modules. So that's the first part. Okay, this is just the links, you know, these ones, so we don't need this. Okay, so we already have a configuration. Let me show you again the dependencies that we are using. Okay, as I said, we don't need validate. Okay, so don't install that. Okay, let's go to the welcome. That welcome is this page. We don't have anything there, just displaying a div class welcome. Okay, here are the styling and just a header with an h1, a paragraph, and an SVG image. Okay, so we don't have nothing there. Let's close it. Let's go to let's go to posts that we are receiving. Okay, all our GraphQL posts, okay, that we have stored in the mlab database. Okay, remember that mlab is a database as a service that uses Mongo. So let's take a look at the documentation from Vue Apollo, and let's go to Apollo Vue components. Let's see. Okay. Okay, they have some little examples. Okay, so you need to import a GraphQL tag from GQL. Okay, and in this case, yeah, you need to use this Apollo parameter. Let's call it like that. And here we will make our queries. So let's take a look at the code. Okay, so okay, this is our post components. We're receiving every single post. Let me see if I'm solving something. No, okay. We're receiving all the posts. Okay, so we need to import GQL to actually make the call from GraphQL tag. Okay, remember that if we need to pass some information, we need to return it in this data function. Okay, in this case I'm returning posts. That is what I'm going to fill. Okay, this is the container. Let's call it container for the future posts that come from the API. Okay, so in this case posts is nothing. This is just an empty string. Okay, we add this Apollo parameter. I forgot the name of the how you call it in this case. And you add this little query GQL, okay, that we are importing from GraphQL tag that allow us to make these queries. Okay, query, and the query you have configure in your GraphQL server. Okay, remember that we have a posts query, and in this case we are returning everything, and here we just have the scope styling. So okay, okay, what's going on here? Let me remember. So let me take a look at the documentation again, because I made this last week. So let me make sure that what I'm going to say is what it is. And they have a little demo. No, this is not it. Keep all queries, listen to queries. Okay, yeah, we need to initialize. Okay, this is it. We need to initialize our data. Okay, and okay, there's a little demo over here. No, that's not it. Okay, I will show you later this kind of queries. Okay, so in this case we need to initialize our data, and we're going to store this query in these posts. Okay, that is going to be like the, you know, it's going to take care. Okay, let's just say this. Let's remove these posts. Okay, refresh. Okay, and we are returning the information. What is this? Is this ID? No, it's not ID. Okay, no, it's just a number. Let me close this. So, in this case, it seems. Oh, I know why. I know why I did this. No, I did it as a container. So in this case, Apollo is returning these posts, and it's going to get this one, okay, and it's going to update this one, okay. So in this case, if we say posts, this would be like, it's not this one. If we say posts, it will be in the case that we want to check, okay. No, because there would be no sense of doing that. I didn't realize that we really don't need these posts. That's why I'm when I do these videos, I start messing around with applications, and you know, because one thing is to make this application and to copy, you know, to copy it to make a tutorial. But in this case, you will see that we really don't need these posts. We really don't need to initialize. Okay, in this case, okay, let me remove this. We are not going to return anything. Okay, so let's play a little bit with this. Just refresh. Okay, let's delete and let's go again to posts. We're receiving the information as it is because Apollo is using this one, you know, these posts as these posts. Okay, is filling that post. So in case when we want to use a span, maybe here, and to see if we are actually getting the data, but to see if this ID, no, sorry, is post that ID. Okay, you see we are getting the ID. Let's give it and HR maybe here. Okay, everything seems to be working. So in this case, what I thought is that this post, the one that was here on the return, was getting filled by this post, but no, we are not getting that. This post is what we are filling, okay, and we are looping through that post. Okay, let's call it something different. Let's call it with a seed. Okay, how you can see that. But if we do this, let me see if that works. No. But what if we're just playing with this right now, okay? And what if we say posts is nothing, Oh, it's an empty. Yeah, we're getting that. That's pretty interesting. So I can remove this and it will be working again. Yeah. On result. So this is information we're getting from the GraphQL. You can see the root query. Okay, that's actually pretty weird. So let's fine tune that. Let's explain a little better. So we need this query to be the same as the posts, maybe. Right now I'm not that sure because I can say that it could be the the same name, but I will not change this because this is what what I have on the GraphQL API. So I'm not going to change this because I will need to change it on the other side to see if we are getting the same information or if this matters. Okay, but in this case, even changing this name will not change. Okay, let's say let's call it posts. No, let's call it data. Let's try. This is the last try. Call it data. And let's see what we are getting. We're just messing around. Not defined, but reference the render data right now should be missing data attribute. Okay, so yeah, in this case, well, in this case, maybe what I'm thinking is that you don't need to return any information here. You don't need to return any data, but you need to match your query, yeah, for it to be able to find the information. Okay. Yeah, you might need to match your root query, the query you have in your GraphQL. Okay. So you will not need to return any information here. Okay. You just need to say posts to match your GraphQL query and query all information. Okay. Let's refresh. We will get information again without having to have these posts returned here. In this case, Apollo is allowing us to use these posts. Let me save that. Actually save it. Okay, it's the same. Okay. So yeah, instead of copying another application that it seems to be working, and because you would think that you will need to return all the data, this one you will need to initialize this one here, but in this case, or we don't need it. So you can try to make this, to initialize these posts here, and maybe you could use it, okay, to reference these posts, but we don't need it. We're getting information, okay? And let's move on. Okay, because you will see that you need to return some information here on other queries, but not on your root query, on the main query you have that is returning everything. Okay, so let's go to post view. I know this it sounds a little weird, no? This video is a little weird, but yeah, this is what I want to do with the videos. Just build something and really understand what is going on. It will help me to improve, okay, myself, and it will show you what changes you can do and what can you return, and something I mean, sometimes you will think that you need to structure something in the way the documentation says, okay, but you just need to experiment a little bit. But in this case, we don't need that. We don't need to return the information there, but you will see we need to return some information here. Okay, so what's going on here? I know we took like 20 minutes explaining that little part, but let's go to what we really want. So in this case, remember that we have on our GraphQL a query that if you pass an ID, okay, you will return the post. Okay, so let's go and let's see how this works. So okay, this is the first part. Okay, and let's not look at this for a while. Okay, let's make this let's take a look at this. So we need this Apollo parameter again. Okay, and we need to call the query again, but in this case, oh, of course, we're calling these posts. Let me remove this. Let's see if we, yeah, because I made that post assuming, okay, just like this, that we need to initialize the data on the query, okay, that is returning everything, but no, it seems we don't need it, okay, because the application is not breaking. So let's remove that from there and go back. So in this case, remember that we have a get post, yeah, I mean a post. Okay, let me open the other application, the server, so you can see. I'm on the other screen right now. Okay, so you can see what I am talking about. Okay, let's open it with code. Okay, because okay, so I can see it. Okay, so this is the main query, okay, that is returning everything, and this is the query we are looking at right now. This is the, okay, let me move this one to the screen. Let me this thing. Okay, since everything is working fine. Okay, So this post, okay, is calling this post query. Okay, we need to pass a variable. Let me close this. We don't need it anymore. We need to pass a variable that in the server we are expecting it to be a string. Okay, we need to pass our actual query. Remember that the name was post. Okay, I just added this name because, but I don't. Okay, I think we need that name. Let me remove it. Let me save it. We go back. Let me refresh. Okay, it's taking a little bit. Okay, it seems we don't need that name. Okay, so remove it, and we just pass the ID in the variable that we're expecting to be a string. Okay, and we pass our query inside that little query object. Okay, and here, since this is the ID we're expecting, we pass this variable and we return the information we want. Okay, so in this case it's working like this. Okay, and let's delete the cache, refresh it all, and yeah, it's working. Okay, so how we pass the variables? The variables we are passing it. We're passing the only variable we need here using this variables object. Okay, let's go back to the view Apollo and let's go to, okay, maybe we can find it. Is that the syntax I'm looking at? No, that's not it. Okay, it's another syntax. Query with parameters. Okay, this is a syntax I'm using. Yeah, this is the one. So you call it a name, the name you want, okay, and we call our query. They added a name. That's why I added that name. Okay, that was get post. Okay, but it didn't change anything. We still receive all the information, and so I don't know. There are some things that it seems that we don't really need, but let's keep it like that. And so let's keep moving. So we pass the actual query. This is the query from our GraphQL, and in this case we need to say this because this is Vue and this is something that I don't like about Vue. Okay, sometimes you will need to say let something to be this, to be the instance, okay, of this class. So you can return what you want. We have this post ID that in this case we added this post ID and we are sending this ID to what we're getting from this. So where are we getting this post ID? We are getting this post ID on the on change, okay, v on change. We are calling this get post ID method. Let's go to methods, and this method, what it's doing is getting this whichever we are clicking, okay, is getting that. Okay, let me console that. Console.log event.target.value. Okay, so yes, you can see we're getting the IDs we are getting from there. So why I have this? Okay, let me change it a little bit. Let me say you might expect to do this. Okay, this post ID, since we are trying to reference this post ID, okay, to actually set the value to be what we are getting from here. Okay, let's refresh. Oh, in this case it's working. Okay, that's pretty neat. Okay, then we can change this to be just this ID. Okay, because sometimes you will need to reference this to save it and to use it. Okay, okay, I'm making all the fixes and I'm making all the changes, and because it was really a pain to work with this, but as I'm going, I'm trying to explain what everything is doing, so you can see what we need and what we don't need. Okay, so let's actually try. Okay, let's go to variables. You see they have an object. Okay, this variables is an object with the parameter, with the value, with the variable and the value you want to pass. Okay, so in the case we would like to say variables. Okay, let's see what happens if we say variables, and let's just say, let's just remove that. Okay, it should be refreshed. Cannot find property name of undefined. Okay, because remember that we are getting we are passing the variable here to this, so in this case it's saying okay, I don't have anything there. Because the error, yeah, bad request. Okay, response not successful, and let's see if this works actually. Because when I was doing this, it didn't work, so I changed that. So we're passing an ID, okay, that in this case is going to be this that, remember that we are setting it this that post ID. Okay, cannot read property post ID of undefined. What is undefined in this case? This. Okay, so in this case we can't access post ID as we are trying, we can access this post ID as we did with this. Okay, and I was doing the same for this but sometimes it works that way and some other times it doesn't, so that's why I had it there to ensure that I was getting the right instance, just I am doing here, just the way I am doing here. But let's remove this. Okay, let's remove this, and now I remove that comma, and okay, Let's go back. Now we are in the same place we were before. So in this case, as I was trying to explain with this example, but it seems this one is getting the correct instance. Okay, I'm passing a function, and you might say, what if I say an arrow function? Okay, right now it's working. No, it's not working. Okay, cannot read property post ID of undefined. Okay, but if we just say let's return variables as a function, and let's refresh to remove that error, you see we are getting the information. Okay, we are 36 minutes. Okay, we are almost at the end, so I'll make a little recap at the end of the video, so if you are not still getting what is going on. Okay, and in this case I added this skip. What is this skip doing? At first your GraphQL will try to, your client will try to make the call, the first call. Compile, because I'm missing something, 75. Oh, because that wasn't it. This was this one. Okay. But what if I change this one? Okay. You are getting still the information, and we are just consoling here the IDs. But what is this GraphQL execution error for query post? Message cast to object ID failed for value nothing, and file ID for model post. What is that? Okay, let me show you here. Let's refresh. At first, the client is going to make a call. Okay, I will show you later how to make a call when the component is mounted, but it's trying to make a call for this. Select an option. Okay, it's trying to look for the value. Okay, we're again. Okay, it's trying to make a call for that, but it's not getting anything. So what actually happened there? Let me. Okay, what the hell? Okay, let me remove this. Just code it. Oh, if I refresh, I'm not getting anything. Oh, that's interesting. Because it's trying to call this value and it's actually giving an error that can't even retrieve any other information. Yeah, because this is the first call Apollo is making. Okay, so to avoid that, you can see we're getting the data again, and let's refresh. To avoid that, we need to call this skip function. Now let me take a look at if we have it here. Advanced search, just skipping the query. Okay, we have this skip, but we are just saying, okay, if we don't have any post ID, just skip it. I use this same syntax saying, well, getting this the instance of this correctly and returning nothing in this case. Okay, so in this case we're skipping the first call to the API, and since it's not getting an error, okay, we are getting all the information back, and we can call information, retrieve the information normally. Okay, and the other thing is just that we are showing in this case that we have this post ID defined and it's not an empty string as it is at the beginning. Okay, and we're just showing or hiding the information depending on that value, this div that is down here. Okay, so I think that's all. Okay, I'll make a little recap. So to call all your posts, in this case to make your root query, use this Apollo object, the name you want to use, okay, that is going to be the same here, and the query you're going to as I'm thinking, you need to match. Let's go to posts. You need to match you need to call it the same way as your query. Call it the same way as you have your main query, okay, and it should work, because there's a little problem with the documentation that some things are not explained correctly, okay, or not correctly. Maybe they forgot to add something, that happens. In this case, we're just getting the root query using this query, okay, importing the tags from the GraphQL tag and calling the query we have on the GraphQL server and looping through that, okay, and we are getting these little cards. That's the first component, and on the other component, it is a little more complex. We first create a select, okay, that is going to disable this first select an option because we don't have anything here, but we want to avoid, we want to show this message. So if post ID is not equal to what we have at the beginning, okay, it's just going to show the select an option. But once we click on another one, we're going to disable that, okay. Once it has a value, okay, we are going to disable this select an option, and we are getting the values because we are saying where the hell am I? Okay, on the select change, get, call this post ID function that is this method, okay, get post ID, that is returning the value from the target we are clicking. You can see here, okay, we are getting the values and we're storing that or sending that as the value for the post ID, okay. You might be thinking, how are you getting these IDs? I'm just doing the same as I did here, okay. but I'm just returning the ID, this one. Okay, I call it the same posts, and I call it the same. Okay, I return the posts ID, and I'm just filling for every post in those posts that are actually the post ID, and create an option tag, an option element, and that's it. We are filling this. Okay, we are getting the data on click because we're getting this get post. We're getting the target value and setting it to be this instance post ID, that is this one. Okay, and on our queries, on our post query, we are passing this query get post. Okay, although you don't need this name, but get post a variable called ID that we expect to be a string. Okay, the query we have on our GraphQL, and we pass that variable. How we are getting this variable from there? We need to call these variables, in this case function. Okay, and we call this let x equal to the correct instance of this, and we're returning an ID that is this same parameter or variable that is going to be x for this post ID, and that post ID is this one. Okay, so in this case you can see that Vue is a little more complicated on the way it manages the instances, I mean, and how you need to call everything else. So I'm thinking about making other videos about Vue, but you can see that it's a little bit more complex on the way everything is structured. And yeah, so I think we're going to finish here, and yeah, so I have the mutations, but I will upload that maybe on Friday. But yeah, I hope you I hope I didn't, you know, confuse you more, but this is the way I ended up doing this application, since it was a lot of fine-tuning and a lot of things that made building this VueJS and GraphQL Apollo a little bit more complex, you know. But I will add the repo on the description, and yeah, that's it. If you like the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it, comment. Okay, and see you on the next one.